Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
We're starting a minute or two early. I just want to make sure that everybody can see everything. So obviously we're all big adults here. Well, except for Steven. We know he's a giant kid. But obviously we'll give I don't know if StreamYard has an ability to like raise your hand, but everyone talking over everybody will be quite annoying. So clearly I'm here to facilitate, and I think there's no real set agenda. We're just going to talk about shit and the state of the industry and all that fun stuff. Angus is having a spot of tea.
I am.
It's good to see you, brother.
And you?
I hope everybody here knows everybody.
By reputation, if not in person.
Jay's here from Broken Rat Games. He's my brother from another mother. Angus, of course. Coronis. So what we'll do is we're actually streaming right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my camera view. I'm going to start down at the bottom. I'll call your name. Just give an introduction, the name of your company, and if you have a current hot project right now, go ahead and speak to it. So we'll start with Jay.
Oh, hello. Jay, Broken Rat Games. Current project is, there's a load of them, but the one that's kind of more current than the others, Delve 3rd edition is coming out. It's actually on late pledge at the moment. It's going to be hopefully released in the next few weeks as a core book. So that's the latest thing, really.
Awesome. Jay, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come hang out with us nerds.
That's all right,
Is it nighttime there?
Yep. It's 10:15. Well, no, 10:15.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right, Angus, my friend, good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm Angus. I'm Parallel Publishing, and I have to admit I haven't actually published anything in about 2 years now. Mainly because I haven't finished writing anything. Because you know how it is. You start on something, and then something else takes your fancy, and then life changes, and I've had quite an interesting 2 years, but nothing that involves gaming very much. So I'm not sure I really have a right to be here, as I'm not currently.
Oh, you do. And I appreciate you being here.
I think the last thing I published was my horror game. I can't even remember the name of it now. That's terrible, isn't it? I can't remember the name of the game.
Mirrorside.
It was Mirrorside, yeah. Thank you. And I'm still working on Halcyon Stars. I promise I'll finish it at some point. I did get a friend involved recently to do some art for me, so that was quite nice. But it's one writer. It takes forever.
I think everybody in this channel can empathize with that to some degree, if not more. Jason, my friend.
There we go. I turned off the mute. Jason Duff. I run Earl of Fife Games. Main thing we're known for is probably Heroes and Hardships, but right now we have something on Kickstarter, Scale Mail. I'm helping Mike Lattimore publish that. So if you search that in your Google, you will find it.
And I did an interview with him that went live this morning. He was so much fun to sit and chat with. So really looking forward to Scale Mail. And of course, Heroes and Hardships and all the fun stuff that you do. Dragonbane, you also had a successful Mistwraith. There we go. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. I'm old and tired, but not as old as this man, Coronis, aka Mr. Steven Turner, the bearded one. What's up, sir?
Yeah, well, as you know, I control Britannia Game Designs, publishers of CNET, Chivalry and Sorcery, but I'm also director of Stygian Fox, Call of Cthulhu licensee, Brooding Secrets, Dream Realm Storytellers, Cabal of Enchantment, and co-owner and director of GMS Hobby Game Logistics, fulfillment and distribution company I set up with a couple of others who got their own games companies to fulfill our own products initially. But we now look after the people like Paizo, Pinnacle, Troll Lord Games, and a host of lots of others.
Yeah, a lot. You got your finger in a lot of pots. Know a lot of people. Everyone on in here right now, and this is the joy of herding cats. We invited over 10 people and only 4 showed. Besides me, I don't count. I was going to be here no matter what. Mr. Larimore said he couldn't make it because he has gymnastics with his family and it was kind of short notice. Jay.
I was about to say it's nice to see that the English outnumber the Americans at the moment. I mean, it's quite good to see that we are in majority here at the moment.
Well, Scottish don't count.
Scottish, I'm Scottish, but I'm an honorary Scottish.
Honorary.
Can we say Brits rather than English? Can we just?
Yeah, let's say Brits. Yeah, they're Brits. Yeah, the Brits outnumber the Americans, which is always nice.
Yeah.
It's okay, Jay. The simple fact of the view from your house is worth it all. So we'll cut you some slack there. If anyone hasn't seen the view from Jay's house, have him send it to you because it is literally breathtaking. I mean, Steven posts pictures of him walking his pup all the time. That's nothing impressive, but that view for Jay is amazing. Although I'm jealous because Coronis is going to invite me to his house, and little does he know that when I leave, my backpack will be full with a couple of books. He won't notice I'm missing. So the big thing was this was actually Jason's brainchild, and it never dawned on me that we have so many publishers on the Mr. Mean Speaks channel, and it's growing every day. I mean, we're still a small channel, obviously, but like I was talking with Mike, right? Mike Larimore. Is it Mike? Yeah, I'm horrible with names. Mike, we do something unique that's only, I don't know if anybody else is doing it. There's a couple other small channels, but they're all reviewing Paizo, D&D, Shadow Dark, the big games out there. Nobody's talking about Scale Mail. Nobody's talking about, Mirror Side or, Black Iron or Delve, and that's what my channel especially. In fact, Jay, back when it was Feral Games Inc., I mean, he was one of the first guys to jump on board with Steven and support me. And, through the years, Jay has done awesome stuff. He's got a crap ton of stuff on Drive-Thru and in the wild, tons of books. Steven, of course, as well, is a huge supporter of the channel. So first of all, thank you guys for helping Mr. Mean Speaks be all that it can be. It really warms my heart to see you guys thriving and doing cool stuff that you're doing. And Angus, it doesn't matter if you haven't published anything in 2 years. It's the content that's already out there that lives on and will probably be here long after you're gone, even when your teacup is empty. So
I have a whole pot.
Just had to ruin it, didn't you? Just had to ruin it. So tonight I just wanted to chat about what you guys got going on, what you guys see the trend in the industry. I had a lovely tirade with somebody about Shadow Dark because I'm calling it a fad. T Dave is in the house. That handsome guy. Can you hear us? Maybe he's waiting to turn on his mic is on.
Can I be terrible and admit something?
Sure.
I don't know what Shadow Dark is.
Good. Because my personal opinion, it's a flash in the pan, but that's just me.
I've bought a handful of games in the last couple of years, mostly when I was at Tabletop Scotland, and Shadow Dark is definitely not amongst them.
Yeah, it's only been the last 2 years? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I've heard the name. I don't know much about
it. She run the Ennies, didn't she?
It's a bit of a blend of OSR style game. I played one session of it at Origins, But it's kind of a blend of 5e and OSR kind of sensibilities. It seems like,
I've
a
got
little
plenty
bit
of
like
those. Okay.
that. But it's
not a bad
very
game.
popular right now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I really
Yeah.
I really feel like it's just a flash in the pan. I hate to say that. I don't mean that to be negative.
But
Although it probably sounds incredibly negative, but
Somebody did
I mean, the
something
reality-
similar a few years earlier, called what was that called? It was called Big Fucking Axe, I think it was called.
that
Yeah.
game.
That
some
was
guy
exactly
did
the
that.
same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
did it. I don't remember who it was, but they did a combined 5e OSR kind of thing, made it and yeah,
And they did it much better, to be honest.
Yeah, they didn't make millions.
I remember being inspired by that because that was
Yeah, because Angus, didn't you do something with it?
I did. I took a slightly different tack on that, but I did Bastard Big
Bastard
Guns.
Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shadow Dark's, a lot of the popularity came from the Arcane Library being, having a big, subscriber following before Kelsey Dion put out the game. So she would release free adventures and stuff like that, and she had stuff on the DM's Guild, I think. But yeah, the Arcane Library, I think, had
Thing
they would release like free adventures every month and stuff.
Sorry. Yeah, is Shadow Dog just popular in the US? Does
Yeah,
it
it
have
seems
any
like
roots
it.
outside the US?
No,
think
I don't
so.
think they have a following too much. That's what the debate was on YouTube. I watched a fellow YouTuber and he was talking about it. It's the greatest game ever made, and and I was like, no.
It won an award.
Well, I mean, shit. I mean, that's
They
not
pay
hard
for
to
these
do.
awards. Aren't really awards, are they? Come on, it's a bit of
Yeah.
finagling.
I'm like literally. This is the most I know about it. I searched for Shadowdock RPG, and the first thing that pops up is it won Product of the Year, 2020.
Yeah, the Any Award, right?
I don't even know what. Any.
Yeah,
It won more than one. It won. I think it won Best Layout.
yeah. Now,
one-
don't get me wrong. Kelsey is a wonderful young lady. I've talked to her. She's very nice. I think the game is it's a niche game if you're into OSR with that D&D tweak and everything. But we also have Castles and Crusades. We have DCC. We have here Big Fucking Axe. We have Fantasy Gets. I mean, those are all in the same vein for the most part. But
It also
Okay,
benefited
so-
from like the OGL kind of debacle. It was kind of coming
yeah.
out right when that happened,
Right.
and so it did help.
right, and
that
I think
kind of
that helped it
marketability for
quite a bit. And it doesn't hurt that. Let's face it, we got 6 people online, and we're all a bunch of big fat hairy guys. And she's a very attractive young lady. That does not hurt your statistics.
It also doesn't help. It also helps if you have an awful lot of influencers who have got a lot of hundreds of thousands of followers who are also big in your game up. And I think that was kind of when you saw the Ennies, the Ennie Awards, her table was basically filled with Professor Dungeon Master, Runehammer, that other guy, I can't remember his name, and me, myself, and Dive. Now all of them together must have almost 500,000 followers.
Yeah, if not more.
And they all influenced it. Do you know what I mean? And they're all sat at her table. So
Yeah.
there's
But it's-
definitely.
There's nothing wrong with that, is
But,
there?
do the Ennies actually make any difference? I mean, outside of the
Nothing is
US, does anybody pay any attention to the Ennies?
well,
I
the
don't
Ennies
think
are pretty-
customers do. Like,
Customers don't.
so I mean, like, I was listening to Mr. Mean's interview with Mike for Scale Mail, and they made a good point. Like, the writers on a book, very few know who they are or have any opinion of them, right? You could say, well,
You know the
who
cover.
is the writer of this book, and nobody's going to have any clue.
No,
They don't. I
no.
mean, most customers have no idea who the writers of these books are. and
They
the
know it by the
designers.
name of the game, right?
I think that
Well,
that's mostly true. There are some exceptions,
Sure.
Sure.
right?
Oh, by the
Like-
way, T Dave, give an introduction here real quick because you came in a little late, and he's an American, so
Is that
equals.
Okay.
I am
Here's
from the US, that is true.
here's some interesting actual sales figures for you. going off the last few cons that GMS has attended, like UK Games Expo and Dragon Meet, for example, I'm actually shocked that games such as Chivalry and Sorcery and other indie products outsell Castles and Crusades.
Really?
In fact, oh god, yeah.
Yeah, but you know
In
what I'm
fact,
going to give you there? CNS is a British game, and it falls into that, King Arthur, the Arthurian legend.
Historically, it's only been British since 1999.
Yeah,
For
well, we're in
20 years prior to that, it was
2026,
US.
I mean, yeah, okay.
But,
yeah, so
I
it's
mean,
27
the
years.
fact that CNS at UK Games Expo, value-wise, outsold Castles and Crusades by a factor of 2 to 1.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
but
Castles and
sometimes you can
Crusades
play
got a whole panel on a.
Because
I mean,
Castles
could
and
it
Crusades,
be that like people already have Castles and Crusades, and so they're not buying it? I mean, that's
So that
Yeah.
is one of these things that like pushes new editions, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if you can't continue to produce material for the
Yeah.
current edition, release a new edition
I
to
mean-
really up your sales pipeline.
Yeah.
Like
No, I will say
we had the Castles and Crusades brand new non WotC etc. copies on sale, and the CNS rule books that we got on sale were like they've been on the market 5 years, and we were still sort of outselling.
Yeah, well, here's the thing,
Um,
Stephen.
And that in my mind that is actually wrong. Although it's good for CNS, marketing wise, it really is wrong that Castles and Crusades should be outstripping CNS, and
Why?
it just doesn't seem to have the reach in the UK.
Just because you
yeah,
can't
because
get
they
it.
don't make it. They don't make an effort to push their game in the UK.
No.
They're an American
Well,
publisher.
yeah, I mean they spent on advertising at UK Games Expo. We sold them
Sure.
a 6 foot by 3 foot panel on a
Yeah.
big huge banner.
Yeah.
But
so.
Uh,
Okay,
I mean,
if you go to
they
the
should
UK Games
be pushing
Expo,
it more. I mean,
Okay, hold on,
we're
Steve.
pushing it.
Hold on, Stephen. Go ahead, T. Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
so if you go to the UK Games Expo, what is your degree of exposure? Maybe
Our exposure at UK Games Exposure, we had a 20 meter by 7 meter trade stand and a
That's not what I'm
overhanging banner.
How
our
many people
exposure-
does-
65,000
How many
for-
people went to
we-
UK?
There's 85,000 turnstile.
Okay, 85,000 people. Now, I think when we're talking about what was that game, Shadow Dark? We're talking about influencers with 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So if they play a game, that means 500,000 people see that game.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Orders like
65,000.
that's a significant difference in views.
So what you're
Yeah,
saying is
but
we need
I
to
mean-
get some influencers on board.
Boy, if we only knew
Yeah.
one.
I mean,
Well,
Wait. Let me rephrase. If we only knew a good one.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Good
I
doesn't
will
mean
say-
successful.
So let's give
Yeah.
Dave a second here to introduce himself and say
Yeah.
who and what he is, since he didn't get a chance to. He was late to the party, so it's not his fault. Clocks work differently in his part of the country.
they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, no. My wife has told me that I need to blame them. But so I'm Dave. I am the author of Metahumans Rising and Fractured Kingdom. You can find us with House Talk Productions. We're available in print. You can order us through Studio 2, Amazon, all those like normal sales channels. We're also on Itch and Drive-Thru. Right.
Cool.
If you like
And
spandex,
Metahuman
I've got a
Rising.
host of stuff for you.
Metahuman Rising, cool superhero game. Check it out if you haven't. So yeah, Stephen. That's the problem when you talk UK versus US. The distribution. I mean, do you even carry CNC product in your warehouse?
yeah, we've got the full range.
You do. Okay. So did they have a table at UK?
Yeah, they had
No,
a full
What
display
I'm asking
stand
is,
of,
was anybody
Castles and
from
Crusades.
CNC at UK to
Yeah.
sell? They had people there. They had their own
Well,
booth.
they They had no staff of their own. They hadn't sent anybody over to the UK.
That's
But
what
we were there pushing it because it's no good sitting in our warehouse. We're not getting our cut.
So
If it's not being sold.
Right. What you got, Dave?
Sorry, go ahead, and then I'll say my piece.
No. Go ahead, Dave. That's what I'm saying. I'm cutting in so you can go.
So when I attend conventions, I tend to have more. Like I have a better sales pipeline if I'm running games. That will send people to our booth. If I'm at the booth, I'm running 30-minute demos, just like one scene, short stories, just so you can get a taste of the mechanics, and that's a pretty decent pipeline, right? So when you're talking about, did you have a presence at the sales hall? Sure, you got to be there.
We tried running demos. We tried running demos at the stand, and in the UK, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, do you have a gaming area at the expo where you can run games and then give someone like, oh hey, you run a game with me. Here's a $5 coupon.
It's completely separated to the trading area.
Yeah, no, that's pretty normal for most conventions. But I will put something in their hand. Like, oh, you enjoyed this. Now go pick up the game here.
Yeah. Remember, guys, let's not try to talk over each other. So give a pause so that people can respond. Yeah, Jay.
Well, I was going to say basically that for Castles and Crusades, it's not an easy game to pick up in the UK. Unless if you go to like Leisure Games or Games Law, which are two big companies, right? They never have it. Okay. They rarely have it. And when they do get it, it sells up very quickly and it's very hard to get it back again because of whatever export they use. I don't know where they're getting it from and how much it's costing them to get it in. So I think there's an element of that. Plus, a lot of people over here, I don't think really know it very well. They've heard about it. Unless they're watching YouTube, they're not going to get marketing, right? But the other thing with Games Expo, and this is no word against anybody else, but I mean, if I was at a Games Expo and I had loads of different games and I had my own game there, it'd be in my best vested interest to sell my own game rather than someone else's, right? Because it's my game. I'm not going to want to be promoting someone else's when I could be promoting my own. So I think there's an element of the fact that it's hard to get hold of. I mean, I think I love Castles and Crusades, and I'd get more of it if I could, right? I mean, I've got some of it. The other thing is the original books. I've got the original books. I haven't got the 5e eradicated versions, okay? Because I couldn't see the point. Oh, it hasn't got an OGL at the back. So, I mean, it's not going to make the game any different, right? So people who already got the rule book aren't going to bother buying a new one just because it hasn't got an OGL on the back of it.
So to speak to that, I'm a huge CNC fan, and I had the pre-OGL versions, right, of everything. And I backed the Kickstarter only to get the GM screen because I knew there was going to be different information on there, and there was. So for me, it was what, $15, I think. It was worth it. Yeah. Now, that being said, I'm a veteran, and Trollord Games has a very lucrative for the buyer discount. It's 50%. If you are a veteran, whether you're Royal Navy or Royal Air Force or, U.S. military, doesn't matter. As long as you're a veteran of the services, you get 50% off. So my thought was, why am I going to pay $150 or $110 for these 3 books when I can just wait for them to hit the shelf? They're gonna hit the shelf, because it's printed in the U.S. and I'll just use my 50% off. So I got it cheaper than, So for me, but they sold out is what my point. But they're their own in-house printers, and go ahead, Jay.
Can I just say as well that Savage Worlds Pinnacle has the same problem in this country, right? Savage Worlds isn't as big in England as it is in America, mainly because Savage Worlds is very hard to get in this country. I mean, I wouldn't buy it from the website because
disagree.
You can get it from your site, but how many people know your site exists? I mean, you can't go to Leisure Games, you can't go to Games Law, you can't go to this place, you can't go to that place. It's very hard. You can get like Deadlands or you can get the rule book, but when you want to try and get anything beyond that, it's very hard to get hold of unless you know where to look, right? And people aren't going to search. They want to go to the place they go to.
They want to walk into a store and pick it up. Gamers are instant gratification. Exactly.
I want to get my stuff in Leisure Games because I can get it the next day. They'll deliver it. They'll post it one day. The next day I'll have it in my hand, right? I don't want to be waiting 3 weeks or have to
go ahead, Stephen.
So
Okay, right. I'm going to have to disagree completely with Jay on this because we have 2 pallet loads of Castles and Crusades. We have 4 pallet loads of Savage World stuff in the warehouse. Leisure Games order from us. Quite a few other retailers order from us. So Savage Worlds is easily accessible in the UK, as is Castles and Crusades. We have about 6 pallets of Paizo in the warehouse, full range. And if Leisure Games placed an order with us on Monday for any Savage Worlds products, it would be in the shop on Wednesday. I mean, we've just completed the fulfillment of the latest Savage Worlds Kickstarter. So
Lost
I
copy.
know we've got all the latest stock in. Yeah.
So so it's a supply and demand. I see what Jay's saying. I
and
see what you're saying, Steve.
Paizo and Pinnacle stuff, we actually get in before the release date, so it's available in the UK on the same release date as the US.
Yeah. Part of that though too is you got to remember it's supply and demand. Like Jay said, if it's not sitting on the shelf and the customer doesn't see it, they're not going to think to buy it. Now, that's not the store's fault. That's not necessarily the customer's fault. It's a fine line in retail because you got stuff sitting on a shelf collecting dust. You're not making money. Sitting in your warehouse, not making money. Say again?
I think there's another question here. When you go to buy a game, why are you picking a particular game? I mean, I tend to buy games that I've had an opportunity to play and have enjoyed. I don't tend to go and pick up some
or you're a whore.
Thing. Well, I'm not too different from you, to be perfectly honest. But that was in my younger days, when I had more money and less sense, and I bought everything.
I'm willing to accept you're a time traveler.
Sorry?
I'm willing to accept you're a time traveler. Those could be from days that have not happened yet.
So, Jason, you've been awful quiet. What's your thought here? Because you're an indie publisher. Heroes and Hardships has done pretty well, but I know you went through a period of, I don't want to say giving up, but you were very frustrated with the industry. How hard is it for you to get your product out there?
It's very difficult. But like the Castles and Crusade things, I have no real opinion on because I don't know that game.
Right.
But I mean, as far as like an indie publisher, that's where kind of it's really hard to get into the retail market. So getting into the retail market is for an indie publisher very difficult. And the reason why is because it seems to me when I did Heroes and Hardships and I was talking to the big, basically the distributions, like I can't even remember their names now, but the people who sell to stores. So number one, unless you're printing 10,000 copies or something like that, your cut is going to be horrific. So you're gonna take a 60% loss on your book. They're only going to buy it for 40%. If you can't drive down your costs by economies of scale, then you're not going to make any money from it, really. That's number one.
Why I'm a print on demand guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, so it's a little different if you're trying to get in retail stores versus print on demand. If you're doing all your sales online, then that's completely fine. Print on demand is going to keep your costs down, but it's also your margin is still not going to be very good.
True.
Because print on demand per unit is quite expensive. But yeah, so you have that issue. Getting into retail in general, or through distributors, is difficult because of a couple reasons. Otherwise, is they don't want to take a chance on buying stock from you and it just sit there and not selling as well. Mm-hmm. So you have those two things where they're not really interested in branching out too far, because they have to get the actual shops to buy from you. So there is that. So really, especially for like me, your sales are going to come through crowdfunding or that after crowdfunding process through, it could be Drive Through RPG, it could be your website, but you're going to have those kind of like sales. It's mostly not going to be like, hey, your books are in the store. Now that might happen every once in a while, but it's not prevalent.
Yeah, if I can like just piggyback off what you're saying, I have the most success whenever we elevate our visibility, right? So as we're talking about with conventions, if someone is running our games, we get more traffic to our booth, right?
Mhm.
If whenever I do like an actual play podcast, I see more traffic to our online portals, right? And that's I really think that's the only way that we can bring these like indies up is by getting people playing the games. And the question is like, how do you incentivize that in a retail store, right? Because I don't think as an indie, like I know I don't have the bandwidth to like start organizing game nights at every like local game shop across the country, right? If I can figure out a way to do that, believe me, I will pass on that knowledge.
And it seems like local game shops are not very role play. Well, this is like a generic statement, but most are not real role playing game centric because those aren't like the money makers. You're talking about Magic the Gathering and miniatures and stuff like that. That's really where they make their money. So
Absolutely.
like role playing games are just kind of like a last tier for them to make, to get cash.
I've seen those shops. I've seen others where it like varies, right? Like there's a spectrum there for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, as someone who's run a lot of demo games, I've run some stuff for Steven. I've run some stuff for Jay. It is extremely hard to get into a game store and get something moving just as a bloke off the street saying, I've walked in, I said, I've done work for Modiphius, I've done work for Paizo, I've done work for Eden Studios, I've done work for FASA, I've done, I've been in this game as long as most of you, working on the demo side and stuff. Mutants and Masterminds, Green Ronin sent me to Gen Con for 6 years in a row when it was down in LA. That was a chunk of change. They spent some money to send me, figure I lived in Northern California, so it was a short plane ride, but still hotel, food, I stayed at the convention, so it was no big deal, but still it's a lot of money. And Green Ronin was wonderful to me. You guys I would say most of you, maybe Steven might be slightly in a different situation with the warehouse and everything. But I mean, you guys, as far as I know, every person in this chat right now has always sent me free product, has been more than willing to give me discount codes for their drive-through RPG, or send me, Steven just sent me a case of Chivalry and Sorcery starter guides, the quick intro to Chivalry and Sorcery. And they went like hotcakes at Gamehole Con. I couldn't keep them on the table long enough. I'd put 20 or 30 out there and I'd come back an hour later and they were gone. But nobody was running Chivalry and Sorcery at the convention. Now, Steven, you may have had someone running there. I don't remember because it's a blur now, and I'm almost as old as you, which is pretty old. But it's hard to, like Jason said, it is extremely difficult to give a game store unless they have a huge play area that's not devoted to 40K or Magic. That's their cash grab. You got to remember, when people are coming in to play Magic, they're dropping $15 to $25 just to come in and play cards, because that's the entry fee to play in a Commander tournament or a pre-release or whatever. So you want to go take up a table with 6 people, let's say, argument, and you're not paying anything, and half the guys may not even buy snacks. It's hard. Retailers don't want to dedicate that space and lose money. I've had retailers tell me, "Oh man, I would love to do that. Sounds great. I was going to run zombies. I was going to run Zombie Squad." When Jay sent this to me, this was years ago. And the guy, the lady, it was a lady that owned the store down in Beaumont, Texas. She said, "I don't have the space to let you do that because it's a Magic. I've got Magic pre-releases and Magic tournaments all week. And they will get upset if you're in here playing a role-playing game and they don't have a place to sit down and play cards." And she would be losing money. So you can't blame her. But then we're back to start again saying, how do we get Heroes and Hardships? Which, if you haven't checked it out, and this is more for the YouTube audience, if you like L5R, if you like dice pool systems, and you like D10s, these are all things I love personally. It's a great freaking game, but nobody knows about it. And I'm not trying to pick on Jason, but it's a great game. But if nobody's playing it, you're not going to get traction. When you get media influencers that have 500,000 subscribers total, and they all say, and I'll bet you half of them didn't even read the damn book. Maybe they did, but I'm just saying. And they're going to say, this is the greatest thing ever made, and you should be playing it. That influences people. We all know that. We're a visual society. But it's hard for a guy like Jason or Angus, even Steven, and his game's been around for 20 plus years.
Well, actually, I'm the curmudgeonly old bugger that says that if some influencer insists I should be playing a game, I'm not going to fucking touch it.
Yeah, but Angus, you're just a grumpy old Scotsman, and we all know it, all right?
I mean,
Go, Jay.
At the same time, Daggerheart has sold out their entire 2-year plan for a run, right?
That's a whole different ball game, Dave. Go, Jay.
If you look at all the games in the last 2 years, for example, that have been successful in Kickstarter, right? You've got Draw Steel, which is basically written by an influencer on YouTube who's got over 100,000 subscribers. You've got Shadow Dark, again, 4 or 5 different influencers, up to 500,000 subscribers. You've got Broken Empires, Me, Myself, and Die, another one who's got over 100,000, another influencer. DC20, another one who's got, a couple of 100,000 influencers. He's an influencer with that many people. Everything that's been popular in the last 2 years has been written by an influencer.
Yeah, now I will say, where are those games now?
Well, Clash of Steel has just been released, and it costs. I mean, in this country, it costs over £100 just to buy the 2 books, right?
Right, but DC, what is it? What's the other one? The
DC20 hasn't been released yet. Yeah, hasn't been released yet.
But nobody's talking about it anymore.
No.
Shadow Dark. I give it 6 more months, and Shadow Dark will be in the discount bin.
I disagree from all the what I hear about it and how I see products do that are built on the Shadow Dark license, and they do quite well. And so I'm not seeing that going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm going to politely disagree with you, Jason. I think it'll be a flash in the pan. I really do. I don't
If the
think
rules are
but
good,
most role-playing
basically
games are flashes in the pan, though. That's the thing.
I think you're going to see it follow kind of the Mork Borg trend.
Yes.
And I think Mork Borg is still very popular. And I personally, I don't like to disparage other games because it's whatever's other people's cup of tea. It's definitely not my cup of tea.
Right.
But you see a lot of, supplements, third-party supplements coming out from Mork Borg that do very well. Yeah. And I think it's similar to Shadow Dark. Yeah.
The thing I see with Mork Borg a lot.
Does good. It does what it does. It does great. I mean, it's better. I mean, it's basically a simpler D&D, and that's what people want, and that's good. I mean, I like it. I'd play it. I even own it. Do you know what I mean? I even own some of the stuff for it because I like the concept behind it. But I don't
there is the key thing. That's one of the key things. Here's the joy of role-playing games. It doesn't matter what your demographics is. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter where you live. If you like it, you like it. And when you go to I go to a lot of game conventions, you can find someone there that likes the same game you like. You may not see it published or advertised, but like the case in point, the Chivalry and Sorcery starters, the pamphlets. I didn't see anybody playing Chivalry and Sorcery, but every one of those pamphlets disappeared. And I even checked the bins. There were 3 big bins. Sorry, garbage cans for us American people. I checked the bins next to that table, and they weren't in there. People weren't picking them up and throwing them away, saying, "Oh, fuck this." They were literally. I watched, and a variety of young and old people were coming and picking it up. Like they take 1 or 2, and then they would walk off. And it's on a table that said everything on that table is free. So there were stickers and bookmarks and flyers for other conventions and stuff. And it was just funny. To see people grab it because it's a pamphlet, like a magazine, 8x12, and they look at it and they're, because they thought they were stealing it or something. I guess I don't know, but Yeah, and I know Jay, getting back to the popularity of games, one of the things that Jay does that is really good is every couple of weeks I get an email from Drive Through, hey, this is not going to be here much longer, or there's a, the sky is blue 5% discount sale, whatever. Jay markets himself like a fiend. And Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your livelihood, this is your source of income.
Yeah, totally.
You,
Yeah,
you don't
no,
have a
no,
9 to 5 like Steven or Angus or Dave or Jason and me. This is all you do to put money on and food on your table. And you're a big guy, so we know you're not starving to death.
yeah.
Right? Am I right?
It's my winter weight. It's my winter weight. I live in
That's
Scotland
right. But I bet you in the summer and you were the same. Never mind. But, yeah,
No, I will say, I do think there's definitely a trend at the moment towards simpler games. People
Yeah, very
don't
much
want to
so.
read a rule book. They don't want to have to. And that way, and I think Shadow Dark is a sign of that, right? People can pick Shadow Dark up, and as long as they play D&D, they know exactly what they've got to do, right? And it's simple. It doesn't involve much rule reading. You can pick it up and learn it very quickly. And I think people just don't either have the time, or they don't have the attention span, or whatever the reason is, right? And there's probably an argument for all of that, right? But people just want something they can pick up, go, right, what I need to do is roll this dice, and that's done, right?
But
I mean,
ask
just
yourself.
to piggyback off that, like even in other media of entertainment, like movie making or whatever, they're specifically making movies and television shows or streaming shows, whatever, to re-explain the plot over and over and over again, because they expect people to be on their phone simultaneously as they watch whatever they're watching. And so they don't expect a large, anything overcomplicated, because they are expecting you not to be paying attention.
And that is a horrible sign of the time. Angus, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with Jason on that. And I think I might have read the same article about the general kind of dumbing down of television and the media sources. I don't know what my comment was now. I completely forgot because I was agreeing with him.
I do want to take
It'll
a second.
come back in 10 minutes.
I want to thank everybody out in YouTube land. Chupa 5946 said, "Sup, fellas." He's a subscriber on the channel, so thank you, Chupa, for piping in. Yeah, Steven, you've been in this game a long time. You've done a lot of conventions. You play games all over the place. You have a warehouse. You help a lot of
as an ex-TSR demonstrator as well.
We won't hold that against you.
I've seen the sort of the dumbing down of games, and I think it's the way society in general is going, is that people expect to be spoon-fed.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the effort to actually get involved in anything.
And here I blame, and I hate to say this because it's shooting myself in the foot. I blame YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and tablets and cell phones.
Basically.
There was just an article, a video I watched of a doctor, a PhD doctor, talking about the educational curve, and
I think I saw the same one.
Yeah, smart tablets and computers in the classroom are actually dumbing our kids down, and it's the short attention span, and you don't have to work to get information. I mean, we all grew up in the age of, I had a full set of Encyclopedia Britannica, and I thought, no offense, I thought I was the coolest fucking kid in the classroom because my mom scraped and saved, and it was a subscription program. You got like 2 or 3 books every month. Of these encyclopedias, and I remember it was like Christmas morning when that box came, and it had the encyclopedia in it, and I didn't have to go to the library anymore. Now, sadly, by the time you got the full set, it was already outdated, and you had to order the new set. That's how they got you. But the point is that in our age, we had to work to get information. It wasn't readily. It's all right here now. You can get everything you need right here. And
I think that same presentation, I saw that, and a lot of it was about how people learn from people, how people connect to people, and that even the intermediaries of having a screen between two people makes it more difficult to connect and more difficult to learn and remember and all these sorts of things, which is quite interesting because, as role players, we should be sitting around a table talking to each other face to face, whereas you've now got tools like Roll20.
But how many of us here are running games online?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I run all my
five-
games online.
Yeah.
The
Five
only
out of
games I
six.
play,
Why? Why are we running games online though?
because it's the only place you can get
Okay.
one.
Well, but-
Getting a group together is one of the hardest things you can do. Steven, go.
okay, I'm currently running 2 games. One face-to-face with my home group, and they'll be starting Traveller 2300 next week. And on Saturdays, I run a Zoom game. But the reason why it's a Zoom game is my players are in Dallas, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Portugal, and 2 in Britain.
I completely get why people are going to be online. It's
And-
very convenient. I have played online games before, but I would rather play one good game a month face to face than have a weekly online game personally.
So let me. I want to share just a quick story. So I had a high school group, decades ago. We played every Saturday, and then sometimes every Sunday, and occasionally on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. We were a very committed group back in high school. I moved away. Life progresses. I moved back to where they were in like the 2010s. I was there for almost 2 years. I managed to organize exactly 0 games that involved everybody, even though all of us still played role-playing games. We could not get this group of 4 people in a room at the same time.
Well,
The
I have a
best I
slightly more
scored
positive
was 3
story.
of us. What's that?
I have a slightly more positive story in that my face-to-face gaming is a reconnection with my original group from 40 years ago. So we've all come back. We've got to that point where the kids are not so young anymore that they require you to be there all the time. You can get a weekend off to go and do something, and that's quite nice. In fact, my daughter even comes and games with us now. She's almost 16.
So what you're saying is I should wait another 10 years and try again.
No, I think you should keep trying, but probably.
I've moved again. I'm no longer in Vegas.
But here's the thing. As you become, and I've said this many times. When we were kids, we had all the time in the world, but maybe no money. We always knew that one kid who had money, and we'd get them to, hopefully influence them enough to buy the game or whatever, and then we'd play it. And then we'd play all weekend long, right? We'd Friday after school, we'd knock out our homework, and then we'd all meet at somebody's house. It was usually mine, and I would GM, or my mom would GM. I mean, that's how cool my mom was. Now, as we're all 40 plus, except Jason, he's the young virile guy. You're the only one with no gray hair here, Jason. So.
I'm 40 plus, so
Yeah, but you look younger than all of us.
I'll tell you.
But
I'm 52 and I've never been fitter.
Though, now that we're in our, everybody's 40 plus here, we have the money to buy the games. Well, we don't have the time to play. I have an autistic child. Steven has, a puppy at home and a full-time business. And, Jason's got a family. Dave's got a family. He travels for work. Jay's just the unicorn of the group because, he does this full time.
I've got a dog. I've got a puppy.
I've got a puppy, yeah, and cats. We won't hold
9
on.
months.
Yeah. What you got, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the ages, and I'm thinking, of trying to persuade my eldest granddaughter, who turns 16 in a couple of weeks, to come along to our own Gamescom to introduce her into gaming.
That's the next generation. That's your job as grandpa. You're supposed to do that.
I'm actually trying to figure out what game. So my kid sees my regular weekly game, and he they want to join us, and I'm trying to figure out what game I can run for them that would be good for their age.
How
It would
My
not
Little
be
Pony.
D&D. Huh?
Dig
My Little
out tunnels and trolls.
So I'm thinking
Uh-huh.
about the PIP system. It was like I know they had Mermaid Adventures, but they had a couple other settings for it.
I'll tell you,
Um,
My Little Pony is a phenomenal little game. Believe it or not, it's Pathfinder first edition, but it's in the My Little Pony universe, and it's a
see, you
lot of
said
fun.
Pathfinder, and we won't besmirch other game systems, but
No,
we,
Mathfinder,
we won't be running Pathfinder.
GURPS has got a ton of different settings there.
There's like Hero Kids and stuff like that
Yeah.
I've
There is
heard good
Hero
things
Kids, yeah.
about.
No Thank You Evil, it's another good one.
I've seen
So-
No Thank You Evil.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of a cipher system.
yeah,
Derivative,
very
I think.
low key. So you guys all have publishing experience. You guys, what is the challenge right now in this day and age? And I'm going to go around the table here so that we don't overtalk each other. I'm going to start with Jason.
Well, reachability, just getting the game in front of people to know it exists. Of course, and there's a balance, right? So how much you spend on a game to bring it, to create it versus how much you're going to make is a very small margin. Is it worth it for you, right? That sort of thing. And then you have things like where I personally feel the market is diluted by particularly AI stuff, whereas you had before, right? Before AI was able to spit out a lot of decent graphical content, that was a big hurdle for people to get in the industry. They didn't have money to source art, or they didn't know how to do that in a way that was economical, and so that kept them out of the publishing industry. And now you have people that can just go and give me this whatever, and it looks passable, and then you can throw it up. And so you have a lot of that AI stuff coming out into the market, which dilutes the market in general, as particularly on Kickstarter. So you have more projects on Kickstarter than ever before, but very few of them are more than say 5 figures. So you have this the diluted market of that. And then advertising is not working the way it used to. This is changes to kind of how Meta particularly is doing things, which makes advertising through Facebook a lot less efficient, and it doesn't work as well. There's a whole lot of things, plus just economic lulls. The role-playing game industry hit a big high, right? Around the OGL kind of debacle era, and just it's kind of declined since then. So there's a lot of things happening, I think, right now in the industry in general that is causing issues, and it's multifaceted. And I think that's just something people have to work through, or just not do it, or find ways to lower their costs significantly.
Yeah. All right. So Angus, I know you haven't produced anything in a while, but I know you're always working on stuff. What do you
Well-
feel like the challenges are?
Well, my challenge is getting stuff written, to be perfectly honest with you.
As the old saying goes, that's a you problem.
It is a me problem. I've had quite a tumultuous couple of years, and then my life has completely changed over where it was. So I've got my excuses lined up already.
I mean, life is that's the ultimate excuse is life. I mean,
Yeah,
so
well, life
that's
got
not
in
an
the way.
excuse. No one's going to hate you for that.
Well, I'm frustrated with my lack of progress in some of these things, and I feel I need to finish what I've started before I can start the next one. But it's the next one that's in my head, and I need to get the old one out finished before I can get the new one started, or I'll just never finish anything. So yeah, it's a me problem. I don't really have too much of a problem on the publishing side because I'm not aiming to make a living out of this. I make pocket money. I'm not aiming to produce a physical product and to go through a distributor or any of that because, frankly, I can't be bothered.
So you're in a unique position where you're kind of holding all the aces because you're doing it the way you want to do it, and you don't care about the outside stimulus. You're going to make the
Basically,
game
yes.
you want to make. And
I would like a few more fans to be involved, if you like, but I'm prepared to just carry on the way I am because I'm doing it for me rather than for anyone else. And that's
a
very
great
selfish,
reason
but
right
it's-
there.
Yeah.
All right. Dave, what about you, buddy?
So I think Jason really hit on this, which is it's becoming harder and harder to have any kind of visibility. Although that said, I am kind of in the boat of I operate on my own production schedule. However, I have seen that with the proliferation of AI content, the views on my material have gone down. Right? Drive-through RPG is not what it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. I am fortunately in the as Angus put it, I am working for some pocket money, right? Because I do have an additional job, and so I do have the benefit of working with a number of charity bundles, and that's nice, right? Like that's an upshot of where we're at, but yeah, I really just think like how do you get people to see your indie game, right?
Mhm.
Because not everyone has 100,000 subs. Not everyone has a team of 500,000 subs going for them, right? So,
Yeah. I feel you, man. I feel you. Steven, Mr. Turner, what about you?
Much the same as everybody else, but my biggest fear at the moment is the potential of a trade war between the US and Europe, because the stuff that's been threatened could put a complete trade embargo on any US goods, and that would severely hamper a lot of the industry outside the US. Then I
But
don't
would
think
that just encourage
enough-
diversification? Sorry, to interrupt. Would that not
I mean,
just improve?
in Europe, I mean, we've got diversification already. We've got Free League, we've got Modiphius. There's quite a lot of European publishers already.
Yeah.
both of those put out some great
Yeah, I mean-
games too.
Yeah, but what would happen is if what the French are threatening to bring in, the ACI, that would completely put shutters down between everything. And whether you produce in China or in Europe, if you're doing offset printing, tariffs are something that we have to think about. And I mean, I've got a friend who does 3D printing in America. He's just had to pay for some resin $5,000 extra because of tariffs.
How much resin is he buying?
Now the supplier outside the US didn't pay it. He had to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the impact on the games industry in America, is trying to supply goods to America, is the threat of tariffs.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
aside
only
from
going to
the-
impact the gamers in America.
I mean, it's going to hurt. Like that hurts. Like it's going to hurt, and just not people in Europe. It'll hurt the people in the U.S. too, because we bear the brunt of those. Bringing in products that we or whatever we make, right? So if we're buying, if we're printing in China or Lithuania, wherever, right? It hurts everybody for sure.
Yeah, I mean, from our point of view as a distributor, from a GMS point of view, we already have Paizo, for example, shipping their books directly from China to us, so they don't even go through the US.
Yeah.
And they're
Because
doing that
otherwise-
just to save on the tariffs, right? Which
Yeah.
you can't blame. I mean, you can't blame. That's good business sense. I'm not mad at them for doing that, but it is hard.
And,
But okay,
I
so
mean,
yeah, I don't want to take too much time on that because that's a political, and I don't want to get
Yeah.
into politics.
But from a publisher angle, it's from a publisher position, it's the same as everybody else. Is how do you get your products visible? Because there is so much stuff, especially I say on drive-through, you can't see the wood for the trees.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started role playing, you had AD&D,
Sticks and
Tunnels
Stone.
and Trolls, CNX. you could almost count them on one hand.
Yeah.
Or at least what was like
And-
easily available for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd go into your local game. Long gone are the days where, every game store I remember going to, you would walk into the game store and they usually had what's new. And it was like whatever came from Diamond Distribution that week, was on the shelf. And you were like,
Yeah.
ooh, it was Christmas morning. You'd go to the game store on either Wednesday or Friday, because that's when UPS delivered their shipments. And, or Saturday morning, some cases, if it was delayed or a holiday. And you'd see what was new, and it was the new D&D book, or it was the new GURPS book. I was
Yeah.
always a huge GURPS fan,
So-
but
so-
yeah,
so
those
for
days
me-
don't exist anymore.
No,
Finding
see, for me, one of the great things for me going in and say, "Oh, that's new. Oh, that's a science fiction game. What's it called? Oh, Traveller."
right.
I think I bought the same book.
Well, I mean, you were amazed back in the day that books were actually books, and it didn't come on a stone tablet. But that's a different story, Stephen. That's a different
Yeah,
story.
I want to say.
Hold on, I want
won't
to give
care
Jay.
until
I want
played
to
it
give
and
Jay
we'll
a chance, because everybody's had a say.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Jay's going to mimic what Jason and everybody else said. But Jay has a different perspective, because this is his full-time job. And your cat's photobombing you, by the way.
Yep. I mean, I think there's different levels depending on what you do and who you are, really, I suppose. I mean, marketing is definitely something that's very hard to do, because there's not so many places. Back in the old days, you used to have magazines and all that sort of stuff to market through, and you don't have them anymore. You are kind of really reliant upon influencers now, because so many people take notice of them, not because they're good at anything, because some of them are very good, right? But it's because people don't want to have to read. They want to be able to sit there and listen to somebody else tell them what they want to buy, right? And I think there's that element to it, and which makes it very difficult, because if you haven't got the right person to influence your game, then if you don't like it, you're never going to get seen, right? And then you've got the whole art thing, and I think that's definitely a wall for most people, is art, right? Because art is such an important part of a game now. I mean,
Yeah.
people want to have good art that causes some kind of immersion into the game or whatever, and you don't get the right art, and art is so expensive. And yeah, you can use stock art, and stock art is fine, but when you've seen the same piece of stock art in 10 different games, it gets a bit kind of like that bit of stock art again. But and in a way for especially for young independent people who have a great idea for a game, and who's held back by the fact they haven't got the artwork, or they haven't got the funds to buy artwork, buying stock art is great. But I think you can see why AI is becoming such a big thing, because it is a cheap way to get great art in some ways. I mean, some people may not agree that AI art is good, but I think since in the last year, AI art has improved massively compared to what it was. I mean, now you look at art and you think, is that AI? Is it not AI? I can't tell
It's
anymore.
really hard now.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. I just was talking about this in another video, my Lost Colonies video, because my Kickstarter came in from Pinnacle. I was talking about Paizo, and their books now are $80 to $90 now for a 200 to 300 page book. $80 to $90. So tell me, how is it that they're charging that and getting away with it? And don't get me wrong, the quality of the books is amazing. The art is amazing. The layout is amazing. The books don't fall apart. It's not like they're coming from drive-through and pages fall out, though I've only ever had that happen on one book. How do they get away with charging $80 to $90 for a 300-page book when Pinnacle can put out a non-standard size book, comic book size? I forgot what they call that, digest size. They can put out a book that's 200 pages,
6x9.
6x9. They can put out a book for $25. Or you got Castles and Crusades, that is a 300-page book as well for $49.99 or $39.99.
I mean, if I can just, basically, this is my answer to that question. And I've answered this question to you before already, right? And I've already had this discussion with you. It's because they're unionized. And I said to you at the time, as soon as they unionize, all their prices will go up. And what happened? All their prices have gone up. Pinnacle aren't unionized. Tunnels and Troll Lord Games isn't unionized. Do you know what I mean?
Guys.
And it's a different thing. Do you know what I mean? But I think going back to the original question, I mean, it is difficult to get into it. And I think even to what Steve said about the whole tariffs and stuff, yeah, fair enough. That's hard. But then if you're working through drive-through, that's not really going to affect you, right? Because whatever you print is going to be printed in that country of origin. So you're not paying a tariff on that, right? As long as you stick to drive-through, which is our best friend, because we're going to sell our PDFs for it with no tariff. We're going to sell our hardbacks or softbacks, no tariffs, right? And even the whole tariff thing is now being blown out of the water, and it's not going to happen anyway, especially between UK and America. It's all about doing the best you can with what you've got and using what's available. You know, if you're going to keep on printing 10,000 copies of your book and then hope to get them sent out to this way or the other, then you're going to have to deal with that, right? But now maybe publishers should look at it and think, well, until this whole situation either levels out or changes or whatever, maybe I should just focus on getting my stuff out on drive-through. Maybe I should look at maybe doing some print on demand just until I can get it sorted, right? I mean, I know it's not a perfect solution, but it's that or the other solution. There's two options, really, isn't it? I mean,
there's a lot of ways around these issues, right? Like you say, and people, I don't think people know all the options. Like I use Amazon KDP a lot, which I think their print is superior to drive-through RPG. Their costs are actually cheaper. And so like for Mistwraith, for instance, I printed two places. I printed with Mixam in the for US, and everywhere else was KDP. So, and I thought it's pretty good. Good enough, for sure. You do lose some bells and whistles. But I think that you're right that we have to come up with other solutions than offset printing a ton of books at a time. Now you might have strategies, and I did. Like I printed like 2,000 copies of Heroes and Hardships, and they're certainly not all sold. But like I have a plan in place for that, and I understand that I'm just going to have to pay warehousing for a while, right? And that's fine.
See, one of the things that surprised what I thought about at the time was when people were complaining in America that they're going to have these massive tariffs from China, right? And they were saying, well, how am I going to get my games? And that's fair enough, and I can understand that. But I'm thinking, well, why didn't you organize with somebody in England, right, or Britain, right, to have all your stock sent to them where there's no tariff, right, or very little tariff, and then have it sent from Britain to America where there's even less tariff, right? There's no tariff at that point. So any tariffs you were going to pay, you may actually cost a little bit more on postage, but would it be the same in the tariff? Do you know what I mean? You got to look at these and work it out whether that was a viable
Why don't we start
option.
a business just smuggling them in and avoiding the tariff altogether?
Yeah.
You know what? I thought of that, but shoving a fish in a book in a fish doesn't work so well.
Oh, you wrap the book up.
Smell.
Have you seen a full-size tuna? You could fit like an entire sleeve
But
of
they
these.
smell. No, seriously though, on a side note, one of the things that I learned this from Mike the Wednesday night when we did our chat, and Jason, you're instrumental in this. Mike wanted nothing to do with the publishing side of this book. He had a great idea. He was passionate about it, and he reached out to you and said, "Hey, help me," and you did. And so you're publishing Scale Mail under Earl of Fife. So you're taking on kind of all the risk. I don't want to get into the politics and the money of it, but you're helping him out. And this is kind of what, and Stephen, you're well aware of this. This is what Chris Birch of Modiphius did. Him and his wife or girlfriend started out of their garage in their house. You know, when they did Mutant Chronicles, they didn't have a warehouse. They had a garage, and they put it to Kickstarter, and they made enough money because there was enough of a cult following of Mutant Chronicles that they were able to get off the ground. And then he took that money, and I'm sure he had some investors and he had some financial help, or he had money sitting in the bank. But now look at this guy. I mean, he's got a warehouse. He's got 2 warehouses, and he's got a shit ton of games under his umbrella. And I can only assume that he's doing okay. Stephen, he's not doing okay. You're shaking your head.
Modifius don't have a UK warehouse. They use a third party. I know Chris and Rita very well. I was doing their accounts for a few years before they got really big. But it's a case of that at the moment, Drive-Thru really is the best friend for any indie publisher doing print on demand, because they will act as the EU representative for anybody who prints through Drive-Thru.
But doesn't Drive-Thru take a huge cut though? But
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
they do. But
there's
if
nowhere else to
you
go,
print,
right?
if you don't print through Drive-Thru and you print elsewhere, you are going to have to pay somebody in Europe to act as your EU representative, and that's from the 14th of December last year. So 14th of December 2024, any product that goes into Europe has to have an EU authorized representative, and their details have to be listed in your product.
Oh, okay.
And like Jason
So,
said,
and
unless
the
you're-
problem is if you don't, the fines can be as much as £5,000.
Right. Okay. What were you saying, Jay?
I'm just saying, like Jason said, unless you're ordering tens of thousands of books from a printer, then it kind of becomes a bit moot, you know. I mean, I couldn't afford to spend. I couldn't afford to get 2,000 copies of my book because the chances I'll be sitting on them for a long time. You know,
Yeah.
what's the point of that? What's the point of them sitting in a box? You know, I want to be selling them. And if I can sell them on Drive-Thru and have to pay Drive-Thru a little bit of money, then fair enough. But at least I'm not spending out thousands of pounds on a bunch of books that are basically going to sit in a box.
Yeah.
Jay, don't pop.
Sorry.
Your mic's picking it up.
I think it also depends on what you're looking for like, what do you want your book to look like? And like, can you deal with kind of some of the issues that Drive-Thru RPG present? Now, there's a new program that they have started, which I've kind of started tinkering with, is where you can sell your offset books on Drive-Thru RPG. And a lot of people like really rebel. Like I keep my ear to the ground on a lot of this stuff. Like, and a lot of people were not very happy with it. But my personal opinion was, I would rather sell a book and pay their 30 to 35% fee than not sell a book. What's the difference of me selling a book on Drive-Thru RPG and them getting a 30% cut than me selling to a retailer and they getting a 50% cut? Right? I would rather have that extra 15%. I don't care how it's being sold, because if I sell it to a store, if I sell it to Noble Knight Games, right? Let's say I'm going to be selling it for 50% of retail cost. That's a lot less than selling it to them for 65%, right? And so that's what you're doing for Drive-Thru RPG, and it's just having more markets to sell things is good always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask this: do any of you have an eBay store?
I do. Yes,
You do.
I don't have a ton of stuff on there, but
GMS does.
I have one.
GMS does. So let me ask
But
this:
we don't.
and I'm not picking on anyone, and I'm not trying to throw stones, but most of you have been on my channel for well over a year. Some of you have been on my channel since I started. Jay, I'm looking at you. Stephen, I'm looking at you. How come that link isn't in the publishers thing so other people can know about it? Because I didn't know that Jason had an eBay store. I didn't know GMS had an eBay store. Now, I will say I'm not an eBay guy, but I
publish links of where I want people to go typically. And if they go to eBay, fine. But I'm not going to say, hey, go to eBay. I'm going to say, hey, go to my store where I only pay like credit card fees and
so for you, it's a preference of where you want to sell. You don't necessarily want to.
I always will say my website first.
Right. And I would GMS, same thing, right? We can go to your website, we can buy your products, or we can go to Britannia Games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so, Dave, what you're on Drive-Thru exclusively, right? Or
me?
you on?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Where?
I actually get way better traffic off of Itch than I do Drive-Thru.
Really?
Yeah.
So how come there isn't an Itch link in the Discord?
There is.
for your stuff.
Yeah, like it should be in
Oh.
my signature.
Oh, is it in your,
People are not going to. Here's the thing about
Not-
just
no one's gonna look at
posting
your
in Discord servers. It's not really that effective unless you have something actively happening where people are going to look at it. If I drop my,
Yeah,
if I
no,
just
that's
in
that's
pub-
100%.
people are not going to look back through that channel.
yeah, part of it is too. I think you have to make pins, right? Now I've had people
don't-
say, "Oh, it's not pinned," and because they don't want to scroll up. And again, this comes back earlier to our talking about the evil little electronic overlord that rules all of our lives. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a feel of like marketing and how you guys like, because like I said, I get an email every couple of weeks from Jay through drive-through saying, hey, you got to buy this, or this is going on, this is going to be discontinued, or this is on sale, or this is your recommendations, blah blah blah. Every once in a while I get an email from Britannia Games, but that was just food for thought. But Phil Hatfield 2282 in the chats here wants to know what are some of your top recommendations for role-playing games. So I want to start with Angus, since he's not super biased because he's not producing anything right now, although he just went black on me. He hates me. Too many T jokes.
You should start with somebody else then.
Yeah. So how about Coronis, Steven Turner? What RPG recommendation do you have right now? What's some of your top recommendations for role-playing games? Oh, now and then he comes back and then he leaves again. Look at him.
No. I'm just reaching to the shelf. I'm reaching for the shelf because
I would say that from a James point of view, I would not recommend D&D 2024.
actually,
Okay.
I've
but what
run
do
that for
you
a year,
recommend?
and it's the first D&D edition I've absolutely hated. The players had fun, but from a James point of view, it stank.
Okay, but that's not the question. The
Um,
question is what top recommendations do you have for role-playing? Your personal recommendations. What would you if someone I've never played a role-playing game
Savage
and
Worlds,
I want to know what a good game
Savage
is.
Worlds I've had fun with. Savage
Savage
Worlds I've
World.
had fun with. Traveller. You can have a lot of fun with that. Dark Eye, I would love to run.
Yes, one of my favorites. All right, so we're gonna cut you off there. So we're gonna say
I'm
Savage World.
trying to avoid saying Chivalry and Sorcery.
Well, of course, but we don't want to go with the obvious. Everybody knows that because that's your game. So
Yeah.
you're saying Savage Worlds, Traveler, and the Dark Guy. Awesome, Angus. What you got? What do you
actually,
recommend?
I've really just bought a copy of Vesson, and I quite like it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is the starter box set, which was going cheap. But actually,
So you're gonna run a game and we can all play, right?
I've just been dropped in it there, haven't I? Yeah. So let me get a couple more books for that. But I've got a couple more recommendations, which of course will involve Mirrorside, because you just should. Okay.
We
there you
just
go.
said not your own game.
I know.
That's
But
a given.
I'm going to recommend another one, which I was also involved in writing, and you probably have never heard of, and that's
Equinox?
Equinox.
Oh,
And it's
never heard of
produced
it.
By Vagrant Workshop, who I did some work with before I wrote Mirrorside. And it's a
Okay.
game that nobody will ever know about, so it's worth checking out.
So Vesson and Equinox from Angus.
Yep.
So Phil, hopefully you're playing along. Dave, what would you recommend?
So let's break this down into categories. You've never played an RPG before. Is your first time playing? Because I think that was the example you gave. I'm not going to recommend a specific game. I'm going to recommend Powered by the Apocalypse, and pick the genre that you feel in your soul appeals to you. Like Spirit of 77, if you like your 70s exploitation flicks, right? Or
Black
the classic
Dynamite.
Apocalypse World, right?
No, good answer. I like that.
If you want something crunchy, because people are feeling like modern games are becoming simpler, I love me some Eclipse Phase.
Yeah.
It is the love child of the Hyperion Cantos and Altered Carbon.
Yes.
And we need more crunchy sci-fi.
Yeah.
I am going to still say my stuff because it's still my stuff. So play Metahumans Rising if you want to put on spandex. Um,
I'm wearing
And
my
then-
superhero suit right now.
if you have to play a fantasy game, I don't know, something not D&D, right?
Savage
Um,
Worlds.
Yeah. So I'm currently wrapping up my third Savage Rifts campaign.
I played in one of them. It was fun.
It's the campaign you played in. We're finishing it up probably the next 3 weeks.
Awesome. All right. Jay, since Jason ditched on us. Oh, he's back.
There's just
Jason.
oh me. Yeah. So I think I would recommend. So this game is not actually being published currently. It's out of print, but so Legend of Five Rings 4th edition is my favorite game of all time.
Isn't that not the newest edition?
That is not the new edition. The
Nice.
5th edition is
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
edition. So this is a D10 rolling keep system. It's kind of where I got the idea from Heroes and Hardships somewhat for the base mechanic. I quite enjoy it. Pretty much every aspect of it. If you're a samurai type of fan of that kind of epic, Japanese fantasy, this is a great book. You can find it out there. It's not very cheap to find the hardcover anymore. It's very, very expensive. But you can get the PDFs on DriveThruRPG.
PDFs are readily available.
Yeah. You can get the PDFs of them. I think this. So for a more modern game, if you're like a new player to role-playing games, but you already enjoy like that kind of genre, like fantasy or whatever, I would suggest the One Ring by Free League. This is not the 5e version, but this is this is your Lord of the Rings role-playing game. It is probably, I would say, the best system to match the theme of any game I have ever played in my life. They're all very synergized with each other. So any system, subsystem or whatever in this game is going to fit your Lord of the Rings campaign perfectly.
Is that the second printing, Jason?
This is the second edition.
Okay.
So the first edition was by Cubicle 7, and this one is by Free League. The designer is an Italian guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he does a lot of board games too. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff. And so Cubicle 7 was going to release the second edition of this game, but they lost the license right at the same time, and they just kind of let it go. I think it was for the benefit of the game, because that, especially just like the aesthetics around it, was looking more like Warhammer Fantasy than it was Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And so I think this game is would be a great starter for someone who is just getting into role-playing games and might like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, which could be very, very common.
Question for you. Does the One Ring, the Free League Publishing, use their, what is it, the year 0 or year 1 engine?
No, it uses a kind of like an updated version of what the first system was, which is just
like Mercs?
Yeah, it came from Cubicle 7 first.
Okay, the Cubicle 7 version. Okay.
Yeah, but it's its own thing. It has no
D12s
ties
and
to
D6s,
year 0
right?
at all. It's a D12 and D6.
Yeah. Same as the first edition, right?
Yeah, it's the
Same
same as first
mechanics?
edition.
Okay,
There's just
yeah.
some updates here and there. It streamlines things like
I just remember the
travel
first
and-
edition came out with a set of dice if you bought the
Yes.
sleeve box.
Yeah, and
you had the Eye
you
of
can use
Sauron.
custom dice, right? If
Yeah.
you want, right? Your D12, your 12's a Gandalf, and your 1 is a Sauron. It looks
Right.
like an eye, and a
Yeah.
doll for an eye. And then you have like your D6s, and based on what you roll, if you roll 6-5, they can make your successes a little better when you're adding up your dice. But yeah, I think that it really blends into the theme very, very, very well. So that's why I recommend it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, what you got?
All right, so
If you hold up one of your games, I'm going to fly through the camera and punch you in the throat.
I think if you're coming from D&D and you want to sort of stick to that kind of thing, I do honestly think that Shadow Dark would actually work very well for you because it does do well. It is simple. It's D20. If you know D&D, you know it, and it's not
Easy to
very
get
work.
into, low prep.
great for people who want to get away from D&D but don't want to get away so far they have to learn new rules. For something a bit darker, I would have said Vaesen, but Angus has already said Vaesen, so I'm
You
gonna
can
say
you can
something
say
else.
that.
No, I mean, yeah, well, Vaesen, but I'm going to say Delta Green for a sort of modern, deep, sort of horror. Sort of
Jason holds up that.
I think if you want to play something that's a bit more generic and a bit more open to different types of genres and stuff.
Got them all. Got them all.
I would say Savage Worlds.
Good
because
man.
It's a
Good choice.
simple system. Again, it's another quick system to learn, and you can pretty much put anything on it, right? And finally, I would say that if you want something that was fantasy, but you didn't want to play D&D, and you want something a bit more to it, then I would say Dragonbane, because Dragonbane is pretty good. It's very well done. Yeah.
Can I come back
Yeah.
with a
Jay,
with another
Jay, do
option
you
for
have
the
this
fantasy
right?
thing?
Say again.
Do you
I've
have
got
this?
another option for the fantasy alternative, which I picked up and I'm enjoying reading.
Ooh.
Oh, Beowulf. Sorry, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
solo game,
yeah.
then, more solo. Really.
It is 5e based, but don't hold that against it. It does things quite differently, and it's designed for one player and one GM, which is quite a novel
Ooh.
approach.
Yeah.
By a Scottish publisher as well.
Yes, it is. So
With a name like Beowulf, I
we
think
Is
like
that
it.
John Hodgkins? Is that who that is?
yeah, it is, and I'm so impressed with the reading of it. I'm going to buy the next book as well. So I'm just waiting until I can get to Tabletop Scotland again at the end of the year, and I'll meet up with Johnny and buy his other book.
That's awesome.
He
Beowulf.
did all the art for the first edition of
He did, and I'm
the One
jealous.
Ring.
Who's got the time to do that?
Yeah,
the-
we have
or
it in
skill?
the warehouse,
Apparently he does.
Angus.
Who's got the time, right?
if you don't mind, Jay, let me ask you a question. You pulled up Delta Green. Have you looked at like the Gumshoe Fall of Delta Green stuff? Like how do you feel about the difference between the two engines?
I'm not a fan of the Gumshoe engine.
Yeah.
To be honest, I find it very difficult. I did have all the stuff, Trial of Cthulhu stuff and what thing, but I just can't get into it. I do have Swords of the Serpentine, which is their fantasy game, which I'm trying to get into, but yeah, it's a completely different thing altogether. I mean, the system, if I had to choose one, I'd go the Delta Green system all the time. I wouldn't even, I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, carry on. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like the Gumshoe system, I haven't played it. I was almost in a Knights Black Agents game, but it collapsed before it got started. I find the system fascinating. I've listened to a Fall of Delta Green podcast, which was a great story. Like it was just a super solid actual play, but it is so different mechanically from like Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green. I think one of the players like, yeah, if we were playing this in traditional Delta Green rules, I think I would have been through my fourth character by now.
Yeah, I think it's. I am fascinated. Like you say, it's an interesting system, and it would be good to. I would love to play it with a really good GM who's played it, run it a lot. I think if you had a right GM for it, it'd be an amazing game. But to be honest, there's no point for me. There's no point me reading it because I'm happy with what I've got. So I'll stick. But yeah, it would be nice to. I'd play it. I'll definitely play it, but I don't think I'd ever run it.
All right. I want to get to another question here, since we have everybody from different walks of life here, as far as from the publishing world. Cubicle 7 is redoing Warhammer, and they're doing it. What is it? 5th edition now. I'm a huge Warhammer fan. I have every edition, even the box set from Fantasy Flight that shall not be named Warhammer. We call that a board game. But what's everyone's thoughts on publishing companies releasing another edition of a game? There you go, Angus.
Nice.
Releasing another game when the current version seems to be fine. Now, aside from the arguments like the Magic needs to be tweaked and personal preferences, I'm talking from a publishing, game design, and marketing standpoint, because you all have experience in that. I want to start with Jay first, because I know Jay's also a Warhammer.
Okay, so I mean, I like first edition and second edition Warhammer. I never played third. I'm not a fan of fourth edition, and the reason I'm not a fan of fourth edition is because I don't want a game where I buy a rule book and then I have to buy 2 other books to make it work. Up in Arms and Winds of Magic. Do you mean what's the point? Get it right the first. I think basically what they're doing really is
The original.
the 5th edition is being released as a way of combining them Up in Arms and Winds of Magic into one volume. Really, I think, because I can't see any other differences to it. And if that's the case, then I don't know. I won't buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I didn't like 4th edition really, and how that went. I much prefer the older versions. I think they're simpler and better.
Yeah.
And I think this seems like a bit of a cash grab, really, because they're saying that everything's backward compatible anyway.
Then why release it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all right, Steven, what's your thoughts, sir? Your green screen is killing you, Jason.
I know it is. It's a second edition book.
Yeah. Steven, do you have any thoughts?
It really depends. Yeah, it depends on what the position is with the rule book. Are you running out of copies? Are you out of print? And you're going to take the opportunity to revise the edition rather than just a simple reprint. Example, Shivering and Sorcery 5th edition came out in 2020. In 2027, CNS will be 40 years old. And we're thinking that, okay, we're going to have to look at a reprint. But do we move away from a single 600-page rule book, or do we go for 3 separate rule books? An initial player's book, a mages and priests book, and a GM's book. So they're smaller in size, but it would probably bring us in more revenue. Or because we've had players who wanted all of the Magic rules from the 5th edition book as a separate book. We pulled it all together, compiled it, and it sold really well on drive-through.
Only as a PDF, though, right?
But if you've got stock left, why are you doing another printing? It's almost like the copying Games Workshop routine.
That's kind of what I thought.
We'll bring a new rule book out every 5 years.
Producing another copy to produce
and the codexes.
Yeah, so it's a cash.
Yeah.
I feel, me personally,
the codex might have an extra couple of minis in.
Yeah. Angus, what's
like
your thought?
And so
I'm a recovering Games Workshop type. You know, I used to play the games. I used to buy the plastic crack. I am totally better now.
The therapy's worked, huh?
Therapy's been great, yeah. I think there are very good reasons for having rule books, and it's not always apparent what those are to the outside. I mean, Swords and Steven's own game, CNS. Perhaps it's time to put out a 40 years edition or something. If you're running out of copies of the book anyway, then give it a new cover, give it a fresh splash of paint. Fair enough. But in general, I'm not in favor of doing endless new editions, unless there is something badly wrong with the system that makes it necessary to change it. And even then, if it's small changes, you publish an errata. And on the next printing, and on the next printing, you then update the printing, but it doesn't go to a new edition.
Incorporate that errata into the next edition.
Yeah.
What you got, Jay?
Can I just? I agree with Angus, right? But I will say also that I'm currently doing Delve 3rd edition, right? But the thing is, with Delve, I mean, I will say this, right? There's 3 points here that I'm going to make. Delve 3rd edition's got new artwork, brand new artwork right throughout, so it's not using any of the stock art. So it's brand new artwork. It's got a new rule system. It's different D100 system than it had before, and everybody who bought the 2nd edition got the 3rd edition for free.
I have no issue with that.
Where's my copy?
because I haven't released it yet. But once it gets released, everybody who's bought second edition will get the third edition for free.
Right. And you said, and I remember you saying that, and so I agree with you 100% there.
I don't
So-
believe people should pay for something twice. Like if you've already
Right.
got it and it
I-
works, then
So,
pay for it.
okay, I want to get through this, and then I want to bring up another point. So, Angus, thank you very much. Jason, what's your thoughts? Because I know you're a Warhammer fan.
I think, well, I'm more a Warhammer 40K fan, but regardless, the reason core rulebooks get re-released in new editions is money.
Right.
There's no other reason.
Exactly.
You might be fixing things, you might be going a different direction with your rules or anything, but the reason core rulebooks are reprinted is for money. And I think we have to, I do think we have to kind of understand that larger companies, even in this space, right? If you're a company, yeah, you might not be a blood-sucking, publicly traded company, but you're still in this for money. You have employees, you have people you have to pay. And I think that if they can find a reason for that to release a new edition of a game, they will do it, because your sales are going to come through core rule books, not supplements. And so if you're a company with a substantial following like a Warhammer would be, it's almost like printing money, because people are going to buy it just because it's Warhammer, just even if they're not going to play it, just to be complete, that sort of thing. And so you're going to see companies continue to do that no matter what. Now, if you look at a company and a game that has influenced me a lot, is GURPS. They've had the same edition of GURPS for 20 years. GURPS 4th edition has been out forever. I remember when I got it because I was so excited. But you can go that way too, right? It just depends. But some companies, especially these companies with IP, where their IP is, they don't have it for very long, right? And so they have to make as much money on that IP as they can in the shortest amount of time they can. And that's why you're going to see games like that come out with constant new core rulebooks as quickly as they can, because they have to help pay for that IP, which is probably substantial. And it's probably substantial of every cut of every book they make, right? So
having
to
just
make,
paid for an IP.
Yeah. All right, Dave, what's your thoughts, buddy?
So the Warhammer thing.
I've
Hold on.
I mean,
Stephen, hold on.
an IP's license is 5 years.
Right. What'd you say, Dave?
So what I was going to say is that if you're going to print a new edition, whatever it is, it needs to be a meaningful change from the past, right? Like D&D 4th edition versus D&D 5th edition, those are very different games. This 24 version, that could have been an errata, right? It doesn't feel meaningful. It feels like a cash grab, right? It is small changes without a meaningful difference between the two editions, right? They even called it, like, it's supposed to be like a hot fix. You can just incorporate these rules in the current game.
And there's been a lot of feedback.
The new
to that.
Warhammer is making a meaningful change and putting together something that is, respectful of the setting, but a more functional game. I have found that the Warhammer, so I have more 40K than fantasy, but like the rules of prior editions have been less functional, we'll say. But if it's a tradition or a transition to something that is more playable, right? And it is not just a new coat of paint because I want to get additional money, like I get it, right? Even if it's only been 3 or 4 years, right? If you're making meaningful change, make your changes.
Right. So. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So I think we're all on here, but the thing now the counterpoint I will throw out, and this is to me a really good example of it done correctly. Chaosium Call of Cthulhu. They have a
I have
20.
to actually just
They have
recently
a
played.
20th edition out, special edition. They have a 30-year anniversary edition out, and they're about to release their 40th year anniversary. I have the 20 and the 30. And I can say that they are very well done. The production quality is nice. I'm happy to have those books in my collection. And I think 10 years, okay, I could see a new rule book. Are they fundamentally different? No, it's still a percentile system. It still has sanity. It still has all the skills with a
Well,
check
hang on,
mark
hang on.
next to the skill when you fail.
They changed the system. It's still percentile, but it's much more features than it used to be. I recently played my very first game of Call of Cthulhu because I always ran it. So the first time I ever played it was very recently, and I hadn't played it in 20 years before that. And it was the system mechanics were quite.
They streamlined them.
They're
You're talking
much
about
better.
7th edition?
Yeah.
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 We're talking
I
about?
think 7th edition was a major update and like a really good.
It was done well.
Yeah.
I was impressed by it.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while. Been out
Yeah.
for many years at this point.
I will say that if we're talking about just it is 7th edition reprinted, whatever the current edition is, reprinted as a collector's edition.
No, they have done.
That's a little bit. That's its own story. Right?
Okay.
That is not 7th edition.
No, that's the old.
No, I mean,
That is where they've
edition
reprinted a book and done it well, I think. DCC is notorious for this too. Dungeon Crawl Classic. They come out with a new version every couple of years, and all it is a reprint. Now, do they clean up some stuff and some spelling errors and things like that? Yes, they do. Castles and Crusade, Troll Lord Games, same thing. They do. I think they're on their 10th printing, and they've only been out since early 2000s.
There's a difference between a new printing and a new edition, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't really do a new edition. They just do a new printing. They
Yeah.
do when
Like-
they sell out of their
I think,
current print run.
like,
but you got to remember,
it's a new print run. Like that's not a new edition, though. That's just I did a new print run.
right? It's just a new print run. But I will say, they in 10th edition they removed the OGL and they added new spells. They clean every time they do a new print run. They clean it up a little bit because they find spelling errors because it isn't very much a labor of love. It's like 6 guys in the company, 3 guys really in the company. Dakota, Steven, and his brother. I never remember his brother's name because he's kind of a silent partner. But Steven is the face of the company, and then Troll Lord Chuck he's not part of the family, but he's in there. But with everything, and by the way, Phil says thank you all for the really good recommendations for everything, and he says he wants a game to play that all he has to do is buy one book. Well, I would say that's Heroes and Hardships, Chivalry and Sorcery, Mirrorside, any of Jay's games because he only ever does one. Well, that's not true. Delve has what, 2 books or 3? The second
Delve
edition.
has the
2
second
books.
edition has
Crag Baron.
it's 3 books and loads of adventures. Ghost Ops.
I'm not buying a 3rd fucking edition, Jay. I'm telling you right now. I'm not.
Well, you're missing out then. Ghost Ops has like the rule book and about 5 source books and a load of missions.
Right.
But I'm now working on loads of new stuff for all of them basically. Like I said,
Right.
Delver's got a new system, so it's slightly different to the second edition.
So when the D100 Black Iron comes out, that will be my holy grail.
Yeah, there's not going to be one, but there will be a D10 Black Iron.
Oh, it's going to be D10. All right. I wasn't sure because I think you had mentioned before you were redoing
Yeah,
the system.
I was thinking about it, but I'm not doing it.
So because it's one of the few D6 systems I like. It has its problems, but it's still a decent system. But the D10 will be solid because I'm a big fan of D10 systems. We're coming up on like 2 hours here, so quickly I want to go around. I think that's quite a bit of time here, so I just want to go through each person. Jason's looking like he's extremely bored and or annoyed with me.
Not at
So
all.
I'm going to start
I just
with
get a
Jason
grumpy
Ender.
face, resting bitch face, right?
The rest of I have that. I'm really good at it. What's so we're going to wrap it up here real quick. What are you working on? What's coming up, and what are you looking forward to?
So I consistently am looking for releasing supplements for Heroes and Hardships, the universal role-playing game system. If you like a little on the crunchier side games where you're going to it's very scalable how you want to play it, and pretty much all aspects, the lethality, the power levels, all this sort of thing. If you're interested in that, this is a good game for you. I would say uses D10 dice pools. Oh gosh, can't get back here far enough. Anyway, it's there. It really doesn't want to. Anyway, I'm planning on releasing several supplements for it to come. I usually do this with setting books, and then the setting books will have additional rules and adventures and stuff like that.
Damn it, Jason, let me do your job for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really good
there's a dwarf book out for it, as well.
And then dwarven women have beards. Damn it,
they do. They have beards. Miss Wraith is for Dragonbane, and I'm going to do kind of I'm planning on kind of I'm going to take a lot of my fantasy kind of one-off adventures and kind of combine them all together in a kind of a general loose setting and put that out for Heroes and Hardships. But right now I have Scale Mail on Kickstarter. That was, if you look at the interview from yesterday with Mr. Mean and Mike, that's his brainchild, and I'm helped publishing that. That's kind of like an OSR adjacent game. So
looks really cool, guys.
Yeah. But for immediately for Heroes and Hardships, I'll be doing my next thing is another dwarf book. So another Dungeons Deep in Caverns old supplement. The adventure is written. I just need to get around to doing layout and stuff like that. So it's that's what we're going to be doing. I think I have some other ideas in the pipeline for other systems as well, like Dragonbane and Mothership probably. So yeah.
Hey, Jason, when you're ready for that Dungeons Old Caverns Deep, I know a guy who can help pimp that for you. He has the YouTube channel and everything, man. I hear he's kind of mean, but
yeah, dwarves are kind of mean.
Dave, what's coming up with you, buddy?
So it's been a while since we released a new adventure for Metahumans Rising, but I will be participating in an upcoming charity bundle, and we'll be doing a live stream for that. It looks like after this stream, I'm jumping on a session 0 to get ready for the live stream. And then over the last year, we've been working on a new game, kind of a cyberpunk setting that's designed to explore the ideas of like pressure and stress on people's lives.
Oh, so a modern day game.
Yeah, kind of. But we put it in Johannesburg to make it more sci-fi.
Of course, clearly.
Have you got prawns?
Yeah. When I think sci-fi, I think
no prawns. Although I still hold out hope that District 10 will finally get made.
One day. All right. Make sure for your the streaming stuff, put a link in the publisher's thing to support it.
When it kicks off, I will. This is just a closed session to get everyone set up for the live stream.
Yeah, no, that's fine, and that goes for all of you publisher guys. Feel free to use that hashtag publishers announcements to pimp and support and discounts and things as much as you want. It's there for you guys. It's what I do to help support you guys, because without you, there is no me, as painful, boring as that sounds. Angus, what do you got going on, buddy?
Well, actually, I was rather hoping that being here tonight would inspire me to get my arson gear and actually do some more writing.
I can come to Scotland and kick you in the ass. I mean, I'm a big guy, so
you're welcome to come to Scotland and kick me in the ass. We'll give it a shot. I do have to finish House in Stars, and I did have an idea for a cyberpunk game, which I'm not going to rip off of Dave. It's not set in Johannesburg, but I'm interested in the ideas of obsolescence. And if you play Cyberpunk Red, and I did, and I regretted it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry too. Time I would never get back. you buy your cyberware and that's it. It never get, there's nothing else to strive for. It never goes out of date. It doesn't decay. And I thought it'd be really interesting to have a system whereby the pace of technology means that if you're not keeping it up to date, it slowly fades. So
that Windows update
I
bricks
had some
your neural
concerns
netware.
building in obsolescence into the cybernetics and making it decay in stat wise, so that over time, if you don't keep throwing money at it, you get worse.
Sounds good.
So,
Well, keep us advised of what happens, please.
Dave's going to pick up on that.
oh, I was going to say everyone loves their new CyberArm until they forget to pay their monthly subscription and it locks up on them.
Yeah, that's a bitch. It is. But that's basically where I'm going with it.
I love it. Yeah, you didn't get that firmware update, man. You got to pay your €49.95, or else
Yep.
Jay, what do you got going on, buddy?
What
don't you have going on?
You got some time here. Okay, so basically, I'm working on Delve. There's 2 books for Delve. There's Delve, the core book, and the Tales of Cragbaron, which is going to be a book of adventures and work. Anyway, so there's them 2 books, and then I'm working on Chronicles of Earth for Savage Worlds, which I'm also working on a Black Iron for Savage Worlds as well. And I'm also working on a cyberpunk game for Savage Worlds.
In Johannesburg?
No. Set in a kind
North of Scotland.
It's a kind of a grim noir cyberpunk game where you actually play detectives, and it's called Neon Knights and Body Bags. So you're playing detectives hunting down serial killers and criminals and all sorts of things. It's basically twists the whole cyberpunk where you're not playing the gang members, you're actually playing the cops. And then I'm also working
on the podcast where I did that. Yeah, they were the cops.
I'm working on the Ghost Engine as well. So I'm doing. I've got a new version. I'll be working on a new version of the Ruin using the Ghost Engine, which I'm just going to be releasing. It's already written. It's all done. I'm also working on a Ghost Engine version of Cyberpunk game and now a couple of games. So I'm basically working on. I think I'm working on like 8 games at the moment.
Nerd.
What?
Yeah, huh?
I
Steven.
wish I had yours.
Yeah, well, remember, Angus, he doesn't have a day job. This is his. So if he doesn't write, he doesn't eat
Right,
tonight.
okay. Okay, we're currently working on PAX World role-playing game using Skillscape based on Elizabeth Moon's books. We've got an A to Z as a spin-off from the work we're doing on that.
Just say, Stephen, are you working on a Cyberpunk game as well?
Which is a bronze. No, anything but. We've got a Beyond the Brazen Gates, a Bronze Age role-playing game using our Essence rules. We've got a licensee working on a horror supplement for CNS Basic. I've got a Earldom expansion for Marrakesh. We're working on 13 digest books where we're compiling all the different spells from all of the products and out-of-print products into one spell book for each method. So you'll have one book on command with additional new material.
Ooh, awesome.
So it's
so you guys,
so
everyone here
yeah.
is busy. It sounds like,
There's-
except for Angus. Angus, get
So
off
there's
your
a
ass.
lot of stuff we're working on.
We love you, Angus. We love you. Well, Stephen, that sounds awesome. So first and foremost, thank you all for spending the last almost 2 hours with me. A lot of good information here. It was a lot of fun. Jason, thank you for the bright idea of it, man. You are awesome. Stephen, it's probably pretty late for you, but thank you so much for taking time away.
Well, same for Jay and Angus, I think.
I think
Yeah,
we're on
but
the same
we don't
time
really
zone.
like them, so it doesn't matter. You guys know I love you. In fact, I bug Angus I'm like, dude, I haven't heard anything from you. Are you still alive? And he's like, yeah, I'm alive. And that's all he says. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, I messaged him.
Actually-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say I've been doing a lot of research. I'm just looking at the corner because there's a rapier in the corner.
That's home defense, buddy. That's home defense.
It's home defense. It's also great fun just to stab your buddies with it, which is what
Which
I do
is
when
why I'm not coming to Scotland.
Well, yeah, okay.
I would love to come to Scotland. I've always wanted to go.
I fence and I do HEMA, and I'll tell you that's informing a lot of how I want to play my D&D that just can't work. I've rewritten the D&D combat again.
So everybody's got tons of stuff going on, so that's really awesome to hear. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my pitless heart to you guys for supporting Mr. Mean. It means so much to me. You don't even know. Thank you to everyone in YouTube land for listening, for Super Beast, Phil, Chupa, everyone who was in the chat. Thank you so much for your questions and your time. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up. I'm not hanging up on you. We'll stay in the chat for a minute just so we can wrap up anything. But please do use the Discord. It's there for you guys. If anybody in YouTube land has questions for these guys, most of them have their own Discords, but a lot of these guys spend a lot of time on my Discord, which is a huge compliment to me. So thank you so much. And if you have questions for them, reach out to them. Dave runs an awesome Savage Rifts game. Jason runs
Not for much longer.
Yeah, you'll run something else. You're a forever GM like me. Steven is just the consummate gentleman. Tons of stuff going on with CNS. I have a whole shelf full of CNS stuff, and I can't wait to add Packa's World to it as well for the Kickstarter. Jay, you know I always support you, so I love you like a little brother that I never wanted. Jason, I've already said how much I love you, man. You're awesome, dude. Mistborn, Mist Wraith. I'm horrible with names. Mist Wraith, phenomenal product. Secrets of the Sacred Stone, Dungeons Deep, Caverns Old, awesome. Heroes and Hardships. If you guys haven't tried it, check it out. If you haven't checked out the Black Iron, go check it out. Or Delve. Looks like I'm going to have a third copy of Delve. Thanks, Jay. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good system. I have to get a physical copy of Dave's game. I want to say Meta Barons, but Meta Humans. I have the PDF. So thank you so much, Dave, for shooting that to me. I need to physically print it because I can't stand reading on a tablet or a computer screen. I do it all day at work. I don't want to when I'm updating servers and stuff. So I don't want to do that. So we have been on here for about 2 hours. Everybody say good night, peace, love, and hair grease. Remember, Mr. Mean loves you all. And we'll see you guys in the streams. Steven, again, thank you, buddy. All right, guys, we're going to hang up. I'll chat with you as soon as we go dark here, just to end the stream officially for us. Thanks, everybody. Peace and hair grease.